Everyone's like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not going to do.
The refs. And I'm like, I don't know, but finding me $500 isn't going to fix it. That one line summed up exactly what Caitlin Clark's fans have been begging to hear from her teammates. And in Sophie Cunningham, they got more than they ever imagined. Because Sophie didn't just step up as Caitlin's enforcer. She became the loudest, fiercest voice for every fan, and the biggest headache Kathy Engelbert could possibly have as the 2025 season went on. Sophie's patience with the league's games completely vanished. Every hard foul on Caitlin, every cheap shot the ref swallowed, every fine the league tried to slap on her, Sophie never backed down. She only went harder. She called out referees, challenged the media, clapped back at former teammates, and even put the league itself on blast. Nobody was safe. And here's what should terrify the WNBA. This is only the beginning. This video breaks down Sophie's evolution from Caitlin Protector to the WNBA's worst nightmare. But first, hit like and drop your favorite Sophie moment in the comments.
Just the competitor that I am. I'm fierce. I'm sassy. I stick up for my teammates, stick up for myself. And so sometimes I think that's okay to be feisty and be yourself.
What Sophie said back then turned out to be a huge understatement. When she joined the Fever, fans were thrilled because this team desperately needed what she promised: toughness, grit, and the willingness to push back. A real deterrent to the endless cheap shots Caitlin Clark had been taking. But Sophie brought more than just fire. She brought something fans recognized instantly: authentic loyalty to Caitlin. I mean, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And in the WNBA, that kind of honesty was rare. After a season where the media tried to downplay Caitlin's impact, the refs refused to give her a fair whistle, and even Nike dragged its feet on promotion. It was refreshing to finally hear a player speak the truth. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. She's transforming it, and that blunt honesty instantly made Sophie public enemy number one. IT didn't take long for other players to test her. And in the preseason, we got our first glimpse of Savage Sophie. Against the Mystics, rookie Kiki took her down. Sophie got right back up and basically said, "Don't you ever try that again."
I mean, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way.
That preseason moment, it was just an appetizer, a small preview of what the rest of the season would bring. Because if a rookie could take down a vet like Sophie without hesitation, what chance did Caitlin Clark have? For the Fever, it quickly became open season. And that's when Sophie's role became crystal clear. Night after night, refs swallowed their whistles. Caitlin was hammered with no calls while opponents got away with everything. It felt like 2024 all over again. Finally, Sophie had enough. June 17th, Commissioner's Cup, Fever versus Connecticut Sunday. The officials let the game spiral out of control. First, JC Sheldon clawed at Caitlin's eyes. Then Marina Mabrey crushed her with a body shot. No ejections, no protection, no accountability. That's when Sophie Cunningham snapped. And what she did next instantly became legend. For Caitlin's fans, it was pure catharsis.
Look, you go down into the trees and things happen. And Kiki Ariafin right there, it had an extra little shove. And she's just like, what I do? Well, you kind of go up, and then Sophie Cunningham pops right up and has a lot to say.
Finally, retribution. After months of watching Caitlin get hacked with zero protection, Sophie delivered payback. A headlock, a shove, and a simple dare. Do something that up to this point, Sophie had always been fiery, but this was different. This was a switch flip. From that moment on, she played like she had nothing left to lose. Zero FS given. And it didn't stop on the court. At practice the next day, reporters pressed her. Sophie made it clear this wasn't about one play or one game. It was bigger.
Mabry. That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball, but...
During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with it. Honestly, it was a build-up for a couple years now. Them just not protecting the star player of the WNBA. At the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. I'm a team player, so it's all good. Sophie Cunningham had watched Caitlin Clark's mistreatment from afar. Now she was living it firsthand, and she'd had enough. That single moment cemented Sophie as a household name. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6. Yeah. Yep. Boom. Wow, I love it. She was the one who finally defended Caitlin Clark. And what happened next perfectly captured the Caitlin Clark effect. Fans embraced Sophie instantly. Her jersey sold.
during that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
On July 1st, Sophie took direct aim at the WNBA, ripping into its expansion plans. Instantly, cities like Detroit and Cleveland erupted into frenzy. The backlash came fast. Media, fans, even league insiders piled on. For a moment, Sophie tried to walk it back, claiming her words were taken out of context. But here's the truth.
They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6. Yeah. Yep. Boom. Wow. I love it.
On July 1st, Sophie took direct aim at the WNBA, ripping into its expansion plans. Instantly, cities like Detroit and Cleveland erupted into frenzy. The backlash came fast. Media, fans, even league insiders piled on. For a moment, Sophie tried to walk it back, claiming her words were taken out of context. But here's the truth. When you're dealing with the mob, backing down never works. So Sophie flipped the script. She doubled down, saying quiet part out loud. The part everyone knew was true, but most were too scared to admit. INTR 8. From a very first episode, it was obvious no one was safe. Sophie went straight at the league, calling out the abuse Caitlyn was taking, and even referencing her former teammates. She said it plainly. The chippiness, the cheap shots, the constant abuse on the court. It was all because of Caitlin Clark. And she didn't stop there. Sophie lit into the refs, blasting the Sun game, saying they completely lost control and that Marina Mabrey should have been ejected.
Man, I don't know how excited people are to be on.
And then came the bombshell. Sophie went scorched earth. Not just on players, but on the media, the owners, and anyone in the league disrespecting Caitlin Clark.
I'm not even going to lie to you. I am someone who says what everyone else is thinking or talking about, not just with the refs,
Did you post
but
that
with
after
Detroit,
after you guys lost?
with Cleveland. I want people to hear what I just said. I am the only one, but if you ask our league, they feel the same exact way.
The league feels the same way about the refs as you?
And Detroit and
Oh.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
And so
you want to
now,
give it one more shot?
no, because I said what I had to
There
say.
you go.
And I'm not going to apologize because I fully believe that. Don't tell me that Detroit is more fun than Nashville.
On August 5th, Sophie revealed the league struck again, this time handing her a $1,500 fine.
You've seen players in our league try to toughen up Caitlin. We call her Cece. Cece. For even when I wasn't on her team, I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And I get it to a certain extent, and every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But there's just more for her. So it's her second year, and now being on her team and seeing it, I'm what are people doing? Actually, it's just too much, and it's just. I'm over. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much.
No, that's so
That's fair, right?
Yeah.
But just like she promised, that fine meant nothing. On the same podcast, Sophie blasted former teammate and mentor Dana Bonner, exposing her ugly Indiana exit just 2 days before facing her in Phoenix.
There's a couple players on their team that are just do a little bit extra stuff, just chippy talking. You're a professional athlete. That's what happens, right?
I feel like you see it more because people act like this towards
Yes,
Caitlin.
1,000%. So in the first half, the refs didn't call. Someone should have been thrown out, and the refs did not call it.
Correct. I remember that.
They didn't, and so I was all right.
She got full body
Shoot by
chested,
3 people.
Yeah.
2 people. They're like, oh, it's fine. I'm if that was anyone else, I would have been booted out of the game. I know that for sure. I'm a little sassy, but so are they.
Your leash is shorter though, 'cause they...
Literally, I don't even have a leash. I just have a freaking collar and a hand on it.
Who knows what was said behind closed doors leading up to that Fever Mercury matchup? But what followed made one thing clear. Phoenix was furious with Sophie's comments. Her response was polite, direct, and unmistakable. You're dead to me.
Damn it.
No, I think that's from what I've seen.
Yeah, what is the outside? The outside
The
view of the
discourse is
W?
Why bully the person who is not 100% responsible, but has a huge role in growing your sport?
Dude, and it literally pisses me off when people are she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
There's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. We have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck.
Then Sophie went full savage. Her next move shattered one of the WNBA's unspoken rules. Never call out the refs' favorites. On her August 13 podcast, she targeted their white glove treatment of Paige Buchers, ripping into the outrageous special treatment Paige was getting. No sugarcoating, no hedging. Sophie flat out said it, torching the officials and leaving zero room for debate.
And I get it, because if I was a ref, I know I would mess up all the time. Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What call are you like? Bugged out
All of them.
most? Everything.
Like, it's just like they're just so inconsistent. Like, that's my thing. Like, if you're on the other team and you're gonna be finding the shit out of me,
Yeah.
cool. But let me do it to you.
Like, yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
want
Like,
consistency then.
yeah, like just give. And I think that's players across the league and like new fans across the country. Like, everyone's like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not gonna do shit.
Sophie wasn't afraid to say what fans have been noticing all along, the wild double standard. Caitlin, the face of the league, was still getting hacked with no protection well into year 2. Meanwhile, Paige, just a rookie, was handed superstar treatment from day one, the kind of respect Caitlin should have had from the start. But Sophie was the only one bold enough to say it out loud. And right on cue, the league responded the only way it ever does.
We were talking about, like, our first week, what people had to say. Well, the WNBA fined me for
No! You got fined for episode 1?
Dude, they fined me $1,500. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is just the beginning. I was like, you're kidding. Oh.
Way.
I was like, I even told them, I even credited them that their job was hard. I did say that, and I said that I would
No,
not
you
be
did.
good at it. I
Yeah, you
did say that. Like, look at the whole picture. What are we doing? Ugh. Do not get me wrong. I think, like, again, I think she's a hell of a player and, like, would love to play with her one day. But those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. Like, you literally couldn't touch her. And that shit is so annoying to me.
Now Sophie's out for the season with an MCL injury. There won't be any more on-court altercations in 2025, but what she did while she was out there, what she saw, what she lived, built a platform that isn't going away. Sophie became an example of how the WNBA should have handled Caitlin Clark from the very start. She understood her value, celebrated her impact, and defended her at every turn. And with Caitlin's popularity already transcending the entire league, backed by a fan base that's been mocked and labeled from day one, Sophie quickly became their voice. She was a bullhorn, saying out loud what fans have been thinking all along about how the league mistreats its biggest draw. That's why Sophie's platform is different. It's pro women's basketball, but not pro WNBA. It's not about polishing the league's image. It's about challenging it, the leadership, the referees, the players. And here's the kicker. It's only getting louder. Because of fines? They mean nothing. Every time the league tries to silence her, she doubles down. And that is the WNBA's worst nightmare. A charismatic player that casual fans actually love, standing shoulder to shoulder with Caitlin Clark, calling out the league with zero fear. The truth is, the WNBA created this storm until they start protecting their players, especially the face of the league. Sophie will keep firing back. If you made it this far, drop a trophy emoji in the comments. You're a winner for sticking out to the end.